Hello, I'm Jeremy Lemahue, the artist. Since apparently looking at my work on a phone or computer wasn't enough for some people, a couple of viewers had some questions. That's fine. So what I'm planning on doing is walking you through some things that go on in my brain while I make some art. And I'll probably explain some things that you've been wondering for quite some time. The first question comes from Napoleon, my number one fan. Thank you, Napoleon. Napoleon writes, Jeremy, your process is very unique. Will you continue using materials from the hardware store to create your photography installations? Or will you evolve into something expressing your theme with new techniques and new materials? Whoa there, Napoleon. That is a loaded question. And according to the Toastmasters website, we need to unpack this chunk by chunk. So that's what I'll do. First, you assume my work is really unique. But is it? Is it really? Ever since the invention of capitalism, people have been engaged in the simultaneous buying and selling of stuff. It's a constant borrow and return from that all-powerful, the absolute, the system. In the words of Francis Bacon, the philosopher, not that painter guy, he writes that the purpose of mercantilism was the opening and well-balancing of trade. It's of the cherishing of manufacturers, the banishing of idleness. It's about the repressing of waste and excess. And it's about the improvement and husbanding of the soil. The regulation of prices. In other words, way back in 1600 or whatever, we see that the point of doing things is to do things so that we can do things. With the point of improvement is, well, to improve so that we can improve. But we don't really need to look back way in history to see that my work is far from unique. We can look to modern politics, where votes are won by responding to threats of things that haven't even happened yet. We fear because we might just get afraid. Or we can look to the artist Carson Brown, who walks into big box stores, grabs items off the shelves, and constructs and photographs sculptures right there in the store for some poor sap employee to clean up and return to its rightful spot on the shelf. So you see, Napoleon, my work is not unique. I just think about stuff. I make some stuff. Now the next part of your question. Will I continue to make sculptures for the purpose of photographing and then returning them to the store? Let's dispel another myth here. I, in fact, am not clairvoyant, so I don't really know what tomorrow will bring, let alone the capital F, future. But here's what I do know. I really enjoy playing with these materials. I haven't had this much fun since I was 7 and played with my Ninja Turtles. So until I stop giggling with glee while installing the sculptures, this is what I'm going to keep doing. My next question comes from my good friend Nick. And he writes, Jeremy, how important is it for you to use contemporary materials in your practice? Other than the extended degree of difficulty in returning used or salvaged items, how might your work change if you were to, say, use early 19th century building materials or tools, etc.? He continues and says, do you see the more modern objects as more reflective of you or just more relatable? And finally he asks, does their largely synthetic nature bear any weight in your choice to use them? Well, thank you, Nick. Those are some great questions. Of course, we're going to break those into smaller chunks here again. So let's start with the first question. It says, how important is it that I use contemporary materials? I'd probably give it about an 8. Next question. Do I use these modern objects because they're reflective of me? Nick, the shiny ones, yes. The rest of them? No. Maybe you would understand if you saw them in person. The next part of the question he writes, how would my work change if I used salvaged items? Well, for one thing, it would suck. You don't want to look at a bunch of reused crap, do you? I know I don't. I want it new. I want it shiny. I like the way it smells when it comes out of the box. Like I bought that. Yeah, I did. I don't want my work to smell like Goodwill. Know what I mean? Look, I've walked through the installation by Diego Bianchi, and it was great. It was hilarious. I laughed several times. But his work is all about the excess of the past. My work is about the excess of right now, right? It's about the potential of what we can do right here and right now. Any of us can walk into a Home Depot in any given city and make one of my sculptures. There is no looking for this material. There's no searching. It's just buying. And of course, returning it. Your final question was, what's the point? I don't know, Nick. I don't know. These are very good questions. I appreciate your input. You all have a wonderful day. Thank you.